Good morning, I'm Jeff. I'm a sewer tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 20060 Southwest Clarion Street here in Aloha. We're located at the rear of the home. Right here next to looks like a sump pump. We have a 4-inch cast iron clean out as our point of access. I'm going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Currently have water running up ahead. Here we go. We've gone past, I think, 2 junctions here so far. Looks like my guess is they reconfigured some things after the house was built here. Normally you have all those Y connections in the crawl space. The line will come out as one pipe instead of wiring together. Here's where our kitchen sink is tying in though, right here. Getting a bit of grease buildup at that particular spot, and that's because all the grease and stuff that goes down the kitchen sink. Transitions over to 4-inch concrete pipe here at about 90 feet out, and then to 6-inch concrete here at 92 feet. I'm not sure if this line is headed to an easement. It does look like it's going to the rear of the property here. And here at 102 feet, we have reached the terminus for the line. I'm going to try and locate it and see where it ended up at. 100 feet, though, puts this line most likely beyond the property line or the fence line. So I'll do my best to locate it. Alright, I did locate the camera head successfully. It does look like it's terminating at some kind of easement. If I'm trying to think of how I can describe this. The street at the front of the house, obviously it's at the front. If you're standing in the street looking at the face of the home, the line comes out the rear of the house, hangs a left, and goes all the way across the yard out to the that street ends up kind of wrapping around, and it ends up stopping. And it's about 2 or 3 feet in front of that. Actually, it's in grass beyond where the street stops. That's where the camera's at right now. So it looks like it is probably connected to an easement here, or there's an easement contract or something like that, because it doesn't go out to the street. It goes. It's kind of in front of someone's house. Anyway, I would just check it, look into that, look into the paperwork, so you understand the stipulations of having an easement like that. It's possible it's not an easement, but it kind of looks like one with the direction it's headed. I went ahead and located right here at 75 feet. This is smack dab in the middle underneath the shed that's just off to the left of the house. So the line runs right underneath that, and then just continues on to the main. Yeah, I located the camera head here at about 21 feet. This is where a small belly starts in the line, extends from 21 feet here out to about 24 feet. It's only a 3-foot long section of the line. And the water level there, it sits just below the camera, the top of the camera lens, which is about 3/4 of an inch of water there and that's at its deepest point. The rest of it's, a 1/4 inch or so. I see some debris that's collected on the top of the pipe here. It looks like this is probably clogged up in the past. Based on how clean the line is, though, currently, this is one of those spots where obviously it can allow debris to collect here. You really want to avoid, especially with cast iron pipe in general, it's rough on the inside. So if you put stuff down the line that shouldn't go down there in the first place, like paper towels, bacon grease, any of your cooking oils and grease from the kitchen, eggshells, I saw some of those collecting in here, and giant wads of toilet paper. Those items are going to have a hard time going through any cast iron or plastic line for that matter. But because of the roughness of cast iron, it tends to catch those things easier. So if you avoid those items, the line is going to continue to function just fine. I located this spot here. It's right in the backyard. There is a brick planter kind of island thing back here with a big tree coming out of it. And this belly is literally smack dab beneath that tree, like directly underneath it. So keep that in mind. The line's been here a long time, and so is that tree. I would wager that by this point, if those roots were going to intrude through the line, it would have happened. It's possible that the tree on top of it is what's caused it to settle somewhat. But I did locate here. It's about 6 feet deep. Unfortunately, in order to dig down to this, it's the only way to correct it is to dig down. You would most likely kill that tree. You'd have to cut right into the root ball. The belly ends literally directly beneath the tree. So because of that reason there, and because it's such a minimal belly, I'm not going to recommend a repair here. I am going to recommend a hydrojet to remove the debris buildup from the line. There's a couple spots like right here we have some debris collected on the top of the pipe. You can see that like toilet paper hanging down there. But apart from that, on either side of that belly though, the line is very clean. So it's still functioning just fine. But you would just want to be careful as to what goes down the sewer pipe there. And the other reason I'm recommending the jet is right here. The pipe is constricted down due to all the grease from the kitchen sink. And this kind of thing can happen over 60, 70 years of use. Slowly but surely, you know, there are little bits of grease in the food you put down the disposal will collect here. This is where the kitchen sink ties in. And you can see that the pipe there has lost some diameter. It's shrunk down almost by an inch. So I would recommend a hydrojet to remove all that debris from the line. There's really 2 spots there where there's some debris buildup. The rest of the line is very clean and clear, but I think it's at this point worth doing a jet to descale the whole line, get all that junk off the pipe. But apart from that, though, I mean, the line itself is in good shape. It's all intact. I do recommend a rescope. Have the drain clean guys do a rescope after it's jetted to ensure that it's been cleaned out properly. Sometimes grease and stuff like that can cover up an underlying issue. It just coats over the top of it. So it's worth rescoping to make sure it's clean, one, and that the debris wasn't covering up any underlying issues. Apart from that, we've got adequate flow all the way out to the terminus there. Again, I'm not sure if it's designated as a main lateral or an easement. They're essentially the same thing. An easement is just usually on someone's property, and there's a contract for it to run there. So I would just look into that. But the line is functioning at this time and is all intact and in good shape. We have a little bit of debris that's collected right here too. So definitely recommend getting this this cleaned out. Apart from that, though, line is in good shape and functioning. Now let's kind of show how this thing runs here. Here's our clean out. Off to the left of this back door here. Line comes out here, turns, and heads straight over there underneath the shed and underneath that big tree. That's where that little belly is at, is smack dab under the tree there. So runs straight across the property, all the way out the other side, and hits a terminus there about 20-30 feet beyond the shed.